They said it could not be done. And yet, destiny arrives all the same.
Hey look, a Minecraft video that's actually positive. Okay, listen. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded anything, and this isn't a video essay, but I just wanted to make something fun because I actually have time on my hands again now. As per the title of the video, yes, I am back. I am going to be making more YouTube content more often now because I now have a stay-at-home career, which I am very, very happy about. The reason I've been away for so long, and those who haven't actually checked the community posts, is I have been going to university. Specifically, I have been going for voice acting, which is going to be my career going forward. But that does not mean I'm abandoning the channel. In fact, if anything, this will help me improve my voice acting skills because this is narration. And narration is a big part of the industry, believe it or not. You know, all those e-learning modules, those videos that you watch at work to be like, here's how to put together the wrench or something or other. Yeah, people have to do that, and I am one of the people that they will hire. And I'm very happy about that because I actually really like doing that. I have 2 major updates to give for the channel, and then I'm actually going to move on to the Q&A. Because I promised that 10 months ago, and honestly, even though I've only got 4 questions, there is enough content in those questions for me to answer to actually justify including it in this video. First update is I'm planning on opening channel memberships. Not when this video goes live, because I am not ready for that, but in the next couple of weeks to a month, I'm going to open channel memberships. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I am so close for figuring out what I actually want to do with the tiers. They just need a little bit more refinement. So for example, the first tier is just going to be, your name's going to be at the end of the video, at the very end where I say thank you for watching and kind of ramble on a little bit. Your name's going to appear there, and it helps, just help fuel what I'm doing. Then the next tier above that, not only will you have your name on the screen, but you will have access to members-only videos. Actually, I think even the lowest tier gets access to that, so that's a moot point. Anyway, you will also have your name spoken at the end of the credits by me, and like a special thanks to whomstedever the fuck. And then the rest of these tiers aren't solidified in place yet. These are just mainly ideas that I'm floating around in my head. But for example, one thing will be you will get access to videos early, like 24 to 72 hours early, depending. I plan on uploading on weekends, so maybe if the video gets done sooner, the third tier will get videos a couple of days early. I'm also toying around with like behind the scenes content, stuff like a peek at my scripts, some cut jokes, why I changed this section, smaller, raw, less edited videos, stuff like that. And then once those are a little bit more refined and I have more ideas to actually include into these tiers, they will go live. I'm hoping within only a couple of weeks to maybe a month, but they will be live soon. TM. And the next major update, which I am genuinely so fucking excited about, I am developing a video game. The whole thing started from when I was sick away from school for genuinely a week straight. I didn't want to stay in bed every single day, so I forced myself to get up. Probably not a good idea, but I did it anyway. And I have learned pretty in-depth how Godot engine works, which is the same engine that games like Buckshot Roulette was developed on. I made a short little demo where I made all of the assets myself. The final game will not have only assets made by myself because, frankly, I don't have the time. Because on top of developing this game, I also have a voice acting career now, and I'm also doing this. So I'm going to buy assets on stuff like Itch.io, which, is it Itch.io or Itch.io? Doesn't matter. That website. I'm buying assets because I want to support other creators. And even the assets that I grabbed that are free, I will donate once I get the chance, especially when I get the chance. The game is called Ship of One, and the whole premise is in the far, far future. The player character, who is an actual character, his name is Marcus Rowan, finds a ship that is just dark and floating in the void of space. Now, Marcus Rowan decides to go check inside of the ship, just to see if anyone else is still alive, just in case. But what he finds is something even more horrifying. Cassette tapes, all detailing one man's slow descent into madness. And that is the premise of the game. And I'm genuinely very, very excited to actually make this into a full thing. I've made a small little vertical slice or demo that I gave to a bunch of my friends who were my playtesters. And my friends do not hold back on criticism, thankfully, because I need that. And with all of the feedback that they've given me, I now have a solid direction forward to keep going into. And this game is in full swing. I probably have screenshots or maybe even a little gameplay in motion going on screen right now, which I hope editing me remembers to put into the actual video. The vertical slice was mainly just to capture the tone and the feel of what I was going for. Not necessarily what the game is going to look like, but what the game is going to feel like. That was the main goal. And I am so excited to bring this to you when it's ready. Anyway, on to the Q&A section now. Question number 1 is, what are your favorite video games and what makes a game great? Those are 2 questions, Clotus. How dare you? I'm just kidding. I love you, Clotus. I will give you my top 3 favorite video games of all time. Number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. Number 2 is Halo Combat Evolved. And number 1 is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. For me, what makes a game great is a combination of 3 things. Is the gameplay fun? Is the story engaging? And does a game earn its ending? For me, that is like my triangle of criteria for what I consider to be a good game personally. And my top 3 favorite games do slide into each of these categories quite nicely for me. Cyberpunk 2077, is the gameplay fun? For me, yes, it absolutely is. I cannot tell you how long I have spent just driving around, encountering like random little gangs, and just, okay, I'ma shoot up the place. Cyberpunk 2077, is the story engaging? Absolutely. I got attached to both Johnny and V and their dynamic very quickly. And following V's progression into slowly dying and trying to find a cure for the biochip really had me hooked and engaged. Along the way, you meet Judy, you meet Panam in the Aldecaldo house, you meet Rogue, Johnny's old fling. And whoever the writers are at CD Projekt Red really knows how to make a character engaging and lovable. Not to mention Kira Uridine, which my favorite quest in the entire game, where you get to play A Like Supreme, a samurai song, on stage in first person, is tied to Kiri's questline. I freaking love this. As a guitar player, the finger movements are accurate, which makes me so happy. And all of this leads to, does Cyberpunk 2077 earn its ending? Well, Cyberpunk has multiple endings. I can tell you my personal favorite ending is the secret ending, Don't Fear the Reaper, where Johnny and V kind of solo Arasaka Tower on their own. No help, no one gets to die, and we get to blow up a building. Again, in Johnny's case. But there are other endings that are included. You can let Johnny take over and storm Arasaka Tower with Rogue. You can team up with Panam and storm Arasaka Tower with the Aldecaldos. But in every single one of these endings, someone dies, which ultimately leads to the point that no one gets a happy ending in Night City. I really don't like censoring myself, but YouTube kinda forces it because of their policies. There is an ending where V... How do I put this in my own lingo? Because I don't want to say like in Minecraft or Endgame or Unalive or anything like that. That's too corny. There is an ending where V commits taking fall damage and everyone kind of cries over it. Very sad ending, very human and very real ending, absolutely. So even that ending, I would argue, say the game earns. Absolutely. Honestly, I should just make an essay about Cyberpunk 2077 at this point. It would take a while to edit though. Maybe I'll do it for like the one big project a year. Hopefully making my points shorter this time. Halo Combat Evolved. Is the gameplay fun? This is like the innovation of console shooters. Do I need to say anything? Yes, the gameplay is fun. Is the story engaging? Well, for the first like 5 missions of Combat Evolved, you're kind of going gung-ho on the Covenant and trying to stop them from taking over this Halo ring, which is fun in and of itself. But the story really gets going once the Flood enter the picture. And yes, the Flood entering the picture makes the story, while simplistic, very engaging. Does Combat Evolved earn its ending? Absolutely. we get rid of the Flood on Alpha Halo, we blow up Alpha Halo, and Chief kind of aimlessly floats in space is like, no, I think we're getting started. Yeah, absolutely. Star Wars KOTOR 2. Is the gameplay fun? The gameplay was kind of dated, even for 2005 standards, but to me at least, the gameplay is so fun. I cannot tell you how many strength builds I've done with Master Power Attack and 2-weapon fighting just to delete the Storm Beasts on Malachor 5 in one hit.
Unga boonga, no thought, only hit heavy.
Is the story engaging? Absolutely. This game is so refreshing on Star Wars that it has multiple different takes that before playing this game, I did not even consider. Kreia alone as a character hooks me into the story. Her really interesting view of the Force, the Jedi, and the Sith, and life itself regularly pull me in, and I find myself just spending like half an hour in-game just listening to her talk, and for me to converse with her opinions. I highly recommend watching the video, The Philosophy of Kreia, a critical examination of Star Wars by channel if you want to learn more, because frankly, that video will go so in-depth with Kreia, much farther than I ever hoped to.
It is such a quiet thing to fall, but far more terrible is to admit it.
And does KOTOR 2 earn its ending? I think so. I'm not going to spoil the twist, because the twist is genuinely great, to the point where even saying who the final boss is a spoiler, but the way the game handles its ending, in my personal opinion, especially with the restored content mod, please play with the restored content mod, the game absolutely earns its ending. Great question, Clontus. I've spent like 7 minutes recording time on this now. You've dove me into a rabbit hole, and this is why only 4 questions warrant a Q&A video. Question number 2 is, which is your favorite season of Wait, that's a capital. Question number 2 is, which is your favorite season of Bakugan? That's not a question, that's a statement. You forgot to put the question mark. Oh, looky here. Here comes more of the allegations of, oh, here's the Bakugan guy. Please talk about Bakugan jingle keys. I'm just kidding, YL bunch of numbers. I'll actually answer this question properly. And you would think I would say Season 1 because of Masquerade. No. My personal favorite season of Bakugan is New Vestroia, which is why I'm so hesitant to talk about it. While I don't think you can rank a story objectively, because if you try to rank any art objectively, you need to set parameters. Like, what do we set for the parameters of what makes a good Bakugan season, for example? But anyway, if you poll the Bakugan community, I guarantee you that the majority are going to say that the very first season, Bakugan Battle Brawlers, is their favorite season. And do not get me wrong, especially the game itself is the best it will ever be in its first season. It feels like an actual game in that season, while the later seasons kinda just feel like a beat-em-up with special powers. However, I adore the writing of New Vestroia. I'm not going to say much here because I am writing a New Vestroia video. Like, I did say I will talk about every single season of Bakugan at some point. Did I say that on the channel? I might have said that to myself. Well, you heard it here first then. I'm going to talk about the original 4 seasons of Bakugan at some point. Those including Battle Brawlers, which I did the Masquerade video, New Vestroia, Gundalian Invaders, and Mectanium Surge. I personally prefer the writing of New Vestroia over the other seasons, all because of one character, Link Volin of the Vexos. Again, I'm not going to talk too much here, but the arc he goes on, constantly like moving back and forth between Alice and the Vexos, really, really good writing. And the series also handles death maturely as well. Although they do kind of have like the mid to late 2000s censorship of, oh, they're going to the ends of the dimension. Fuck that, they're dead. They might as well be. Great question, thank you. Ramage has more than one question, which I'm just kind of lumping together into question 3 because it's easier on my editing brain. So, first one is, what is your go-to Subway order? If you don't eat Subway, then just favorite sandwich in general. I do go to Subway sometimes. And usually, it'll depend on which Subway has what. But if the Subway I go to has it, I will usually try to get a foot-long pizza sub melt on Italian herbs and cheese with lettuce, onions, pickles, barbecue sauce, Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper. What are some of your favorite Pokemon? I will give a few. Umbreon is my favorite Pokemon overall. I love how tanky it is. It looks gorgeous. One of my favorite like designs overall. And when I used it in doubles as a support, genuinely fell in love with using Umbreon. Blaziken, because Torchic was my very first starter when I got Pokemon Ruby when I was 10 years old. And I still have that very Blaziken to this day chilling in Pokemon Scarlet. If you watch the Pokemon Scarlet video on my channel, actually, you will see that Blaziken battling. Staraptor is my favorite regional bird. A bird that can learn close combat is not only funny to me, but it's also, frankly, really good. This is going to sound very Gen 1er of me, but I promise I'm not a Gen 1er. I think my Pokemon Scarlet video alone proves that. My favorite legendary Pokemon is Mewtwo. For me, personally, that has not been topped yet. My favorite mythical Pokemon is Victini. I love the Unova region. Black and White 2 are in my top 3 Pokemon games personally. My favorite regional bug is the Orbeetle line. And I'll throw a fun one out there too. I really like Barbaracle. I was a Barbaracle defender before the Mega came out for ZA. Yes, I said Z. I am Canadian. Deal with it. If you could bring any feature/item in Minecraft to real life, what would it be? I have a funny joke answer and I have a serious answer. The funny joke answer is the end portal, because I really want to see the world's religions try to justify a portal into another dimension where a dragon exists and there's past civilizations that have lived there. I genuinely think the chaos would be really funny to watch. The serious answer, honestly, is the easy crafting system. You know, place 3 sticks and 3 ingots, get pickaxe. Don't have to do anything else to it. Just place sticks, place ingots, boom, pickaxe, sword, hoe, shovel. That would make life so much easier for everybody. Great questions, Ramage. Thank you. Question number 4. How am I supposed to follow a channel that treats Bulgarians and the Dutch as people? Because they're not French. I really hope this is a joke question. For me personally, I am like autistic and ADHD, so it is very hard for me to tell on text if this is a joke. If it is a joke, I will reply with a joke. And that's going to be it for this video. I am very, very happy to be back, genuinely. I have a couple of video essays in mind that I am playing around with, so I am going to let you guys decide what the next video essay is going to be. The debate is between 3 classic childhood series. It's either going to be Spider Riders, Chaotic, or the Bakugan New Vestroya video. Frankly, at this point, I am fine with doing either of those 3. I just have to write the script for each of them. All 3 of them will be videos at one point or another. It just, whatever you guys want to see first, I will write first. I'm also going to be working on Ship of One in the background, and I'm going to be doing all my voice acting stuff for my career as well. So while I do have more time, it's not like as much time as I would like to work on this stuff. But hey, voicing YouTube videos actually helps sharpen my skills. So that'll be it. This has been Josh from Into the Narrative, and I will see you in the next video essay.